Hello, hello, I'm back. I'll hang on a minute, see if people can find me now. I have no idea what happened there. Let's see if people are going to come back. Oh, somebody's come back. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Just, I think it's a combination of terrible internet, but also I think my computer's sort of completely clogged down because I've had it quite a long time. It's a laptop. And I think that's why. That's why. Anyway, so somebody appeared and now they've disappeared again. So I'm hoping that you'll find me, the people that were on my other stream, that you'll find me back on here now. Yeah, there's a couple of you coming. Okay. Oh gosh. Bloody technology, excuse me, I did sort of swear there. I could swear a lot more at the moment because I was I was really sort of into what I wanted to tell you. It's buffering again. I don't think the internet's very good today, or as I say, I don't know if it is the internet or if it is just the computer has got too much, when you build a Hi, Chumba. I know we'll get there in the end, won't we? We'll get there in the end. What I need is a higher speed internet and a computer that's not clogged up with rubbish. Anyway, won't be long now. So I need really something that's just especially for streaming, because streaming needs something. It's different when you're just using your computer to send emails and stuff like that. But when you want to stream, you've got to have something that's quite good. So anyway, I'm learning that. So I enjoy the streaming because like this today, so much information that I want to give you that by the time I've sort of done videos on it and this, that and the other, it's easier to just jump on the live stream and then it gets converted into a video. So even people who don't make it to the live stream, they can still watch the video afterwards. And if I want to put in photos and that, I'm back. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Ruth, who's Gary, who's Ruth. Oh, Ruth, who's Gary. Right, so where was I? I'm not going on to any other tabs because that's what seemed to send it weird. It was like it just said, oh my God, I can't cope with you going on to a tab. If I need to look anything up, I'll look it up on my phone. Because which is exactly what I'll do, because I was reading out to you what Phillip Schofield had said today. So he's hitting back against all these people, say there's a toxic atmosphere at this morning. He's saying there isn't, and then some people have weighed in to defend him, and some people are still saying that no, it was a toxic atmosphere. So you pay your money and you take your choice. It probably wasn't a toxic atmosphere with the people that he was friendly with, but it was with the people he didn't like. I mean, that's normally what happens in any workplace, isn't it? I suppose. But I was quite surprised, Piers Morgan sort of jumped in to defend him, but maybe Piers just likes to get involved in any drama that's going on. But I suppose because he's still not really got over losing his job, has he, on Good Morning Britain, because he was just like weird about Meghan, because whatever you think of Meghan Markle, or, he was like obsessed with her, wasn't it? It turned into from a critique to an obsession that was all he would talk about. And I think it just, it just went too far. But anyway, so he's defended Phillip. So that's right. So what struck me was Phillip must feel that he's, so I was wondering if he would just keep quiet and just let this story die down and go away and then come back, reinvent. That's where I was, wasn't it? Reinvent himself and come back in a completely different role, because people do forget. They forget things, and they forget, and they forgive and forget, depending on what it is. I mean, if it's ever proven that he's actually, been a child lover, that's not going to get forgiven. But, the fact that he went out with someone younger, or maybe he was a bit nasty to some people. People do sort of forget those kind of things, as long as it's nothing serious or criminal, don't they? And then keep quiet, keep a low profile, and pop up again in something completely different. And people are getting on with their lives. They just watch whatever program it was. They won't think about if he starts a new program, some of the people watching that maybe haven't even seen This Morning or whatever. So, Bad Fairy, hi. So, but he hasn't, has he? So he's not kept quiet. So maybe he's thinking nothing else is going to come out. So he's feeling comfortable to actually hit back, at his detractors. I wonder if he I don't know what he's going to say about Holly, because, Holly has obviously distanced herself completely from him now, despite saying on that interview when he was coming out that she was, would be by his side forever and would stick up for him forever. And he was saying that, oh God, it was like a sickening thing. He was saying she was the sister he'd never had, etc. But anyway, so that's the first thing. Now, I don't know about you, if you watched This Morning, I meant to watch it because I wanted to see what they were going to say at the beginning, but I just forgot because I got lost in that Emma White video that I've been making. And so I forgot to watch it, but I did see later on the news that they said they did refer to, we're in the news at the moment or whatever, Alison and Dermot. I like Alison and I like Dermot. They feel to me like much more genuine people, but we'll see. Who we should have a poll or something. If I don't know, if you let me know if you even watched This Morning, and if you do, who would you like to see presenting it? But anyway, that's the sort of fluffy side of it, if you like. That's talking about that now. So when I've been looking into just generally into Phillip Schofield and the sort of history of how he got to be, because I have always thought for a long time, why is he on everything? Are there no other presenters? And I don't know if you've noticed, but male presenters go on for years. Look at Bruce Forsyth, how long he was presenting Strictly Come Dancing until he was, well into his 80s or whatever. Female presenters don't last that long because they always have to look, at the moment we have got female presenters that are perhaps not in their 20s, so that's good. But I don't think they don't tend to go sort of more than 60, do they? Or they have to, I suppose, Lorraine's an example of someone different, but she always looks very glamorous. So with the female presenters, it's more about how they look, isn't it? But like the male presenters, they can go on and on forever. Age doesn't seem to be a ceiling for them at all, but I wonder, I can't imagine, maybe she will be, will Holly Willoughby still be presenting This Morning or equivalent program when she's as old as Phillip is? I don't know. I think she might have been replaced by then, because sometimes I think women are just used a bit as eye candy, really, not for serious. He's like, the male is like Phillip was like the anchor, isn't he? He's like the one calling the shots, and Holly's just there like as, because she looks nice and what have you. She's a bit sort of, yes, Bad Fairy, too silly for me as well. And Jumba's saying the same thing. Since I've come to live in Spain, I have felt there's been this general dumbing down of British media in the, all right, you can't be serious about everything. It's nice to watch some things that are a bit fun next, but they never deal with anything that's like really, there's no serious debate. I was listening to a podcast, which I did really enjoy. In fact, I want to shout out a couple of YouTubers that I've found, You may know them already, but I found Sonia Poulton. She's very interesting. She was on this morning many times years ago, but she got cancelled in the end because she didn't get on with Phillip. And she has a YouTube channel where she looks into a lot of things. She's very interesting. And then I was also listening to a guy called Sean Atwood, and he's very interesting. Talking about this morning, but talking about lots of things. They don't only talk about this. But he had a guy on with him who he said, oh, well, the people that watched this morning, you know, they're this, that and the other. And I just thought, oh, but in a way, that's what they've dumbed it down to. It's not that the people that watch it are like, want that. People were watching it. That's why they're not watching it anymore, because it's just like, you know, I suppose it's the sort of thing you might have on in the background while you're doing your cleaning or whatever, you know, just to have something on. And every now and again, there might be something that you think, oh, a guest that you think is interesting. Or I personally just never watched it with Holly and Phil ever. I can't even remember the last time I watched it because I didn't really like them. But I think, yeah, there's this. Do they think that people, that's what people want? Because I don't think people do want that. Even if it, you know, they, whoever it is, people, I think YouTubers prove that now. People are turning to YouTube channels, turning off the TV because they're getting treated like idiots with the mainstream media, etc. They get talked down to. This morning I had a woman getting married to a ghost. Yeah, shall I do that? I'll do that next week. We'll have a live with somebody getting married to a ghost. I mean, come on, you know, do you really think the British people are that stupid? Why? It's an insult, really, isn't it? I think it's an insult, and I think the newspapers are the same. A lot of those tabloid newspapers, they talk to people like they're idiots. You know, it's like they're trying to, I don't know, talk down to the unwashed masses or whatever. Anyway, and people are fed up of it, and they're turning to YouTube. What I've noticed, these channels that I like, they're not polished channels like you know, Sky News or something like that. They're just people like me who are talking about things. And people enjoy it, like I enjoy watching other YouTubers, and hopefully you're enjoying watching me, because we know these people are real. These people are real people, and they're not trying to feed us. You know, I think I've said before, to me, the art of debate, when I was young, it was a big thing. You know, I used to debate so much with my dad about politics, about this, that, and the other. We were quite political then. We were interested in what was going on. We were aware. And I think what's happened over the years is they're trying to dumb down everybody and stop them from debating. So you've got like this polarized opinions, and people, you know, people are going to have different opinions, but that's okay, isn't it? It's okay to have different opinions. That's what debate is about. It's a battle for ideas. Life is a battle of ideas. About everything, you know, if I say, oh, well, you know, I like, you know, I like something, even something trivial. You go, well, actually, I prefer red wine to white wine or whatever. You know, you're not going to go, oh, I can't believe you like red wine. Oh God, it's awful red wine. You know, you should drink white wine. We talk about it, don't they? And somebody else might say to me, oh, have you tried this white wine? Because this white wine is actually quite nice. And you try it and you think, oh yeah, it is. You know, that's what debate's about. You know, we all have to live together and we have to get on together. I think there's a lot of anger at the moment. People are so angry and they don't listen. Not only they don't listen to different opinions, but they don't allow people to have their opinion. It's like, hi Jackie, you're back. I know, yeah, the stream went off, but it's back now. It should be fine now for a little while. Yeah, people they just argue, don't they? When you watch a debate on the TV, even political debates and things, any political programs, I mean, I just don't watch them anymore, because again, they just turn into shouting matches. It's just one person shouting at the other one, and you just think, well, that's, just talk normally, be respectful to each other. People are always going to have different opinions, always, and you have to respect other people's opinions. You might be able to influence their opinion, and they might be able to influence your opinion. That's something I've found as I've got older, which has been great, because I have strong opinions, so I suppose I am opinionated. I don't like sit on the fence about things. I do have opinions. But one thing I've realised as I've got older, and I think having, my son is in his 20s, that's really, now that we've sort of got through the very sort of not nice teenager phase where, we were sort of more or less always shouting at each other. Now he's at the stage we have a lot of debates, and I like to hear his point of view on things, because he's coming from a different, I'm coming from where, my experience, and from when I was born, I'm a product of, the age, if you like, that I was born in, and the opinions and the experiences that I've had. He's a completely different product of his experience, because he's never known a life without internet, for a start. There's lots of things he's just never experienced, but there's things he's experienced that I haven't. And I might have said before, he is like my YouTube guru, because he never watches the TV. He might watch a football match on there, or if there was, like some things like I'm a Celebrity, or, some programs that he might like. But even then, we rarely watch the television. My television is very rarely on. And but he's always on YouTube, and he's there's always something, and he knows so much about so many things, and he hasn't been to university. He's just he is very knowledgeable about so many things. But the other thing is, he doesn't just read one thing and think, oh right, that's correct. He then, I think I might have mentioned before on a video, it's really annoying, because if I say, oh, such and such has happened, first thing he goes, oh, has it? And he gets on his phone and he checks it out, makes sure what I'm saying is right, and then he checks that that's right and that somebody else hasn't said that. But do you know what? This is really good, isn't it? That people are gathering their own information, not just believing what the mainstream media tells us. BBC tells you something. Quite often it's not even true. There is a lot of propaganda. We shouldn't think that just because in Britain is different. It's the same in all countries. You get the perspective of the government, if you like, or not even the government, of the culture of that whichever country it is. You get the narrative they want you to get. That brings me quite nicely to Madeleine McCann. Now, so what is the connection between ITV and Madeleine McCann? And possibly not really a direct connection with Phillip Schofield and Madeleine McCann. Now, you may or may not know, but just this, well, that they went back to the Portuguese and German police have gone back to the reservoir near where Madeleine was abducted, and taken away some bits and pieces. They seem to be definitely targeting a very specific area. And they've taken away, various items. So when we'll find out exactly what, I don't know. But what's interesting is that since this has happened, this story now has come out from a couple, a British couple, who have a holiday home in the Algarve, right near this reservoir. And they said, I'm almost frightened to sort of look at it, because what if it, no, I'm too scared in case the stream goes off again. Let me have a look on my phone instead. So they said that years ago, not recently, this is not recently, but years ago, as they were walking around the reservoir, they found a shrine to Madeleine. Now, let me just look it up so I can read it out to you exactly what. There you go. It came up straight away. So obviously people have been. So shrine found at Algarve Reservoir launched police search. No, I didn't think that was what actually launched the search, was it? Let's have a look. Let me go into it again. So they reckon Ralph and Anne, then that is all we know about their name, that they found the shrine 7 months after the toddler vanished 16 years ago. They said they reported it to the Portuguese police, but never heard back. Oh God, you just can't go on these things without adverts coming up, can you? No, I don't want that. Okay, so the couple said they reported the shrine to Portuguese police but never heard back. And the shrine consisted of a row of stones pointing to a picnic site, which was dug up by police last week, a bouquet of white lilies, and a photograph of the missing toddler. And the retired couple, who regularly visit their holiday home near the Algarve Reservoir, later reported the shrine to the police again after the suspect was identified by German police in 2020. Well, that's 3 years ago, and gave a formal statement. Now, of course, Bretner is claiming he had nothing to do with the Maddie disappearance, and I think a lot of us think he probably didn't. But do you know, Bad Fairy, what you're saying, that I think they're going to find some pictures, photos and things of things he did. They said he was, I think he's going to turn out to be like, really quite, well, we already know he's a nasty person, but I think there probably is some sort of evidence there. And maybe he'd hidden it there and thought he would go back for it when he finally got out of prison, or when he came back to Portugal, or we don't know. We'll find out. But whether Madeleine's there. But this shrine is interesting, isn't it? Because one, why did the Portuguese police not take it seriously? I mean, I just don't get that at all. Why? Because apparently the Portuguese police were convinced that Madeleine's parents had done it. So you think when they got a tip-off like that about a little shrine in the reservoir with flowers on it. So I'm not being funny, but would Christian B really do murderers go back and put flowers on graves? Well, who knows? Again, we'll find out, I suppose. I hope we find out. I just hope we do find out. They had a photo of Maddie and a bouquet of lilies or whatever. I wonder if they took a photo of it. Obviously, perhaps they didn't, because when did it? Oh no, because they found it 8 months after she went missing. So yeah, we weren't we weren't always with a smartphone then, were we? And obviously the first thing you do is take a photo of it before you even went to the police. You'd make sure you had a photo of it. So that's an interesting development, if you like. Is that why they went back there? But why has it taken them all that time to get back there? Or maybe it was the combination of whatever other information they had, and now this information has become more relevant, because of other information that they've got. Yeah, why are they telling us this now, Chumba? I don't know. I just don't know why this was not acted on before. That's it. If she's gone missing, she's been missing 7 months. The Portuguese police supposedly are convinced that the family did it, and then these people go to them, telling them about this shrine, and they don't even investigate it. It's just Madeleine McCann. It's just like the Nicola Bulley case, isn't it? It's like nothing makes sense. Anytime you try and make sense of any of it, nothing. Hear me? Ah, no, I'm back. I froze then for a minute. I thought it was going to disappear again. I haven't watched James Bogart. Somebody else told me that I need to look at that one. So many that I need to look at, I think. Now, if you watch Sonia Paulson, she's got very interesting things to say about Madeleine and the connection. I watched one of her videos that was so interesting because it was talking about the poor lady, who was classed as a troll and ended up deleting herself, which I mentioned in the video I did about Madeleine. Yeah, that she was like a victim, wasn't she? Because Sky News sort of persecuted her and doorstepped her, and really, basically, all she was doing is she was making comments on social media that she thought that the McCanns were responsible. There's loads of people doing that. Loads of people. Why did they single out that woman? Why did they single out that woman? And I just don't understand, because they could do that to me. They could turn up at my door, because I think that the McCanns knew something about it. What they're going to do, turn up at my door and Martin Brunt and, expose me as a troll or whatever. It all stinks, doesn't it? That why that woman was made like a scapegoat. Anyway, what she says in her video, I will put the links to these YouTube channels. She believes that there is a connection between somehow the McCanns. They alerted the British media before they'd even rang the police in Portugal about this. This is what happened. They've got the phone records. She shows the phone records, etc. Yeah, a lot of influential people involved in this case. And I need to look into this guy who's in charge of ITV, who's married to that Fiona Phillips, who she used to be on daytime TV. Probably the last time I ever watched daytime TV, years ago. I think she used to be on it, didn't she, Fiona Phillips? Anyway, she's married to the guy who's the director of ITV, which I've forgotten his name now, but I need to do a video on him. And she thinks there is a connection, that there's connections. Why did and her thoughts are that the ITV has been pushing this, and not only ITV but the mainstream media in Britain in general, pushing this narrative that Madeleine was actually kidnapped. Martin Frizzell, that's it. Thank you, Tracy. Martin Frizzell, yeah. Yeah, there's something so fishy, isn't there? And then, so she's saying that, so ITV has pushed this narrative. She brought up a few things. There was also a case of a guy called Ben, who they allowed on the ITV sofa because he was trying to get his daughter back. Do you remember this case? I remember it, but when you see things, but you don't register them that much at the time, and then later you think, oh yeah, I remember that. And this guy, he was on the This Morning sofa, wanting his daughter back, and for father's rights, and this, that, and the other. And he got his daughter back, and then he actually murdered her. Of course, these things then they get buried, don't they? Because they don't want to talk about that after that, how they helped him to get his daughter back, just to murder her. Does anyone remember his name was Ben? His name was Ben. And the actual, the little girl, what was her name? But anyway, I can't remember, but I'm definitely going to do a video on that, because when I saw that, I just thought, God, yeah, I remember that now. And I need to, these things need bringing back into the public eye, I think. Yeah, he got her back, didn't he? Let's be honest, Jack. He got it back, and then he killed her. Yeah, but she's saying that the Sonia Paulson. Do you know her? I don't know. She used to be on, as I say, on This Morning, but she was turfed off it because her views were. Because she said we were supposed to follow a certain narrative, and in the end, I just couldn't follow that. So she would go off tangent, and of course that didn't go on well. She's on the program, she's supposed to be talking about one thing, and she'd start talking about something completely different and expressing a different view from what they're the narrative view was supposed to be. So she got turfed off. But I've really enjoyed her YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos for me to catch up on that I haven't seen. But it was her that brought up this connection with Madeleine McCann and this Martin Frizzell, and you just think, you know, what, how far does this go? How deep does this all go? And how much are we controlled by these narratives? So going back to what I was saying before I lost the other stream earlier, hopefully I'll be able to put these two videos together. This is what's happening now. People are turning away from the mainstream and they're going onto YouTube and they're making their own minds up. Because you know what? We're not thick. We're not thick. We can make decisions. We can make informed decisions ourselves. We don't need someone telling us what to think. We can go on and listen to all the different oh, that was it, the cotton ceiling. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I haven't got as far as actually Googling that, but you know, I like people who I've always liked people who take a different look at things, because nothing is ever black and white, is it? It's rarely black and white. Most things, there's like two sides to every story, or, you know, if you think people are lying, normally the truth is normally somewhere in the middle, you know, that sort of thing. But as human beings, what we should be doing is taking as much information as we can and making our own decisions about what's true, what's not true, with the evidence. Some things, you know, there's evidence, but you know what? Sometimes evidence can point two ways. You can find evidence for that side of an argument and evidence for that side of an argument. So you've got to decide which of that do you believe. You know, evidence can be supplied for things, you know, like I don't mean even made up, but you can, it's like if you do, you can provide evidence that, well, the COVID jab is an ideal thing. I don't want to cause controversy, but you've got people who think it's bad, it's dangerous, and they provide evidence for it. And you've got people who think it was life-saving and it saved humanity, and they've got evidence for it. Sometimes there's evidence of more than one way of looking at things. So we want to see the evidence, we want to see the various ways of looking at things, and then we make our mind up. So that for me is the purpose of my channel, because, you know, as time goes, you know, I have to think, where is my channel going? What is it I want to highlight things, anything that I think people will find interesting, highlight, but especially sort of injustices and things that you know, for me, with the situation with Nicola Bulley, I think, well, I think there's been an injustice. I don't know yet, because we've still got to wait for the inquest. But, you know, I've got my opinions on it. So I'm following that because I really, you know, when I made my very first video about Nicola, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be really popular or anything. I was just doing it because I thought, oh God, what's happened to this woman? You know, and then you realise there's a swelling of opinion about Nicola's case, and all those people can't be wrong. And literally, the last video I did, out of I don't know how many comments, I haven't sat and counted them, there was one person who doesn't believe sort of what I believe, that there's something fishy about PA and Emma, and probably what most of you believe, you know. So we can't all be wrong. We can't all be wrong. It's not even a 50-50 split, that one. You know, with some things there may be a 50-50, you know, some people believe in the COVID vaccine, some people don't. And it's probably quite, you know, that I think is probably quite 50-50, same as Brexit. You know, it was 49%, 51%. But with the Nicola Bulley case, it's much more than that. Much more. I'd say there's 95% of people feel there's something. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it is, but we feel that there's something more to come out there. Same with Phillip Schofield for me. I feel there's a lot more to come out there. I think it is going to be like a snowball. But he surprised me today when he's, because I thought he would just be quiet. Now he hasn't. So maybe he's confident that nothing else is going to come out. You know, it's but I personally, I think it's a story that's not going to go away. And as far as Madeleine McCann's concerned, I hope that something has been found there. You know, and it's horrible to think about that it might be pictures, you know, not nice pictures, but if it proves that this, so nobody would be happier than me if this guy is proven to, you know, he's convicted and found to have committed this crime, and it wasn't the parents. I don't want it to be the parents. I didn't start off think this is the whole thing. I didn't sort of start and think, oh, I want it to be those parents. It was just the feelings that I got and the intuitions that I've got. And as said in the video that's coming out later today about Emma, when there's certain people, if it's certain situations that you go through in life that heighten your intuition, it's normally bad experiences, unfortunately. So, you know, it might be domestic violence, or it might be any kind of violence in the home or abuse in the home, stalking experiences, anything that somebody has gone through. That's when their intuition hones more finely, because it has to, because that's your survival instinct. That if you're living with a domestic abuser, let's say, day in, day out, you have to anticipate all their moods. That's your protection. That's how you protect yourself. So all the time you've got to think, you know, what mood are they in? What can I do to stop them getting angry? Oh, I won't do this because that might make them angry. I won't go there because that. You've got to think and anticipate someone's thoughts all the time. And so people do get heightened intuitions, and some people, their intuitions aren't heightened. You know, I see it in my Spanish classes with students. Some students are really, I'm not saying that the other students can't learn Spanish, they can, but some students, you can tell that their intuition, because a lot of language learning is intuition, because it's not logical. Learning a language, it's not logical. It's not like maths or, you know, computers or whatever, where there's a formula and it works out. It's not. There's a lot of things that you say, oh, why is it like this? And it's like, well, it just is. You just have to accept it. So quite a lot of the time you do have to use your intuition. So I've seen that. Some people have got better intuition than others. And normally the people that have got the better intuition, unfortunately, it's probably because of some trauma that they've been through, I think. But what's that? What's Jackie saying? Yeah, this about PA dating. You know, he may well have dated those two because they live in a little village, don't they? You know, at the end of the day, they live in a little village. There's probably not that many single men in the village, or I don't know. But we don't know. That is hearsay, to be honest. So I don't know. I wouldn't like to comment on that. And I mean, they'd been married quite a long time, hadn't he? Not married, but in a relationship quite a long time. Paul and Nicola, so it would have had to have been quite a long time ago. But I don't care what anyone says. I think Paul and Emma are definitely in a relationship now, I personally think. And I think that will come out sooner or later. And it, as I've said before, it'll be, oh no, we weren't in a relationship, but we got pushed together because of all this tragedy. Yes, do you know what, Chumba, you've just said there? That's what I felt. Do you know what I think sometimes? And again, this is just totally me. I think that morning, what may well have happened is that Nicola either decided not even to take the dog for a walk because it was freezing, wasn't it? It was freezing cold. That's what makes that CCTV so rubbish, because on the CCTV that Paul sent to Ghastly True Crime, it was green. All the grass was green, but it wasn't. It was freezing that morning. And I think she either only took Willow for a very short walk, or she didn't take her for a walk at all and let her go in the garden. I mean, I do that with my dog sometimes when the weather's bad. We've got like a sun terrace up at the top of the house, and if the weather's too bad to go out for a walk, because you won't get my dogs out when it's raining. Well, you get the German Shepherd out, but not the other two. They can't stand the rain. So they'll go up there if they have to go somewhere, and they just like run out and run back in again. So yeah, so I think that's a possibility, that then she might have just gone home unexpectedly and caught them together. I think that's a definite possibility. Hopefully we'll find them out. We'll find out one day. Hi, Maya. Yeah, or possibly a day or two before, we'll see. Lured into, we don't know. I hope we get some answers. I hope and pray we get some answers, and especially mum and dad get some answers. So yeah, Tracy, I don't like to criticise other YouTube channels, and I did start watching her when this all sort of kicked off, but I just she's very no, I can't. I'm not going to say anything, because I wouldn't like people criticising me on other YouTube channels either, so I shouldn't. But I do call her that, ghastly true crime. But she's sort of shot herself in the foot a little bit, because since I saw her on another channel, only a very small channel that you might have seen that, but I quite like watching it sometimes. Is it Huda Mental Health or something like that? And she was saying that, because Grizzly, I was going to call her Grizzly then as well, Gisela is her name. She hasn't been able to say anything about the Nicola Bulley case really since then. I won't be surprised if she's been told off, because it's like an investigation, isn't it? That she's almost colluding with, because that was Paul who sent her that CCTV. I mean, that again is another red flag, isn't it? If there's nothing to hide, why would you send evidence? Really, that's evidence, not to the police, but to a true crime channel. Why would you do that? It's not right. It's just not right. So that's right. She sold out to get the footage. I think he probably paid her to put it on. I wouldn't be surprised if she's, the male friend. Yeah, but she had to point out it was a male friend. It was, thank you to Paul and a friend. Oh, a male friend. Probably wasn't a male friend. It was probably Emma. I don't think Paul's got any male friends. You never see him with a man. I've never seen Paul with a man. All the women that have been, all the people that have been on that were interviewed about this case when interviews could happen, there was no men. Only Ron. Ron was the only man that you ever saw interviewed. All the other neighbours, etc., they're all women. So that seemed a bit strange to me. Well, that's right. You don't send important, your partner that you're supposed to be devastated because she's disappeared. Why would you send the CCTV? Was that sent after she was found? I can't remember. I don't think it was. No, it was before. It will have been before, because nothing's been said since she was actually identified. Why would you do that? To a true crime channel. And then they say that, they're obviously watching these. Could be watching me now. You can come and be interviewed if you like. I'd quite like to interview if you want to say something. Send me some CCTV. No, you don't do that. You send the CCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Gisela has actually been told, because she hasn't talked about it ever since. So that's strange, isn't it? So even like I know there hasn't been much news, but there's been things like announcing about the police review and stuff like that, that she could, and when the inquest is and blah blah. She's not said anything. So I won't be surprised if we've been told that she can't say anything, because so this Huda True Crime, has anybody ever watched that? It's just a little I say a little channel. I don't know how many subscribers she's got, but she sort of pointed this out, and I thought, yeah, you're right. How do you can't interject yourself? Imagine that he did. Imagine that he did offer to send me some important evidence for the case. You can't get involved in that. You can't. You could have an interview with them. You could talk. Yeah, why didn't you go on there and have an interview? You could do that. See, the police don't mind them doing interviews because they want them to. If the police do suspect them, which you have to hope that they do behind the scenes, they like them to do interviews because they like them to go out and put the foot in it or whatever. But of course, they're not doing any interviews. Huda London, that's it, Jackie. Yeah, and I quite like what she has. Quite a little, like an interesting take on things sometimes. So I do watch her every now and again. Yeah, that's it, Chumba. It's Huda London Mental Health. Yeah. I don't think she's had a video out for a while. I can't remember if I've subscribed to her or not. I meant to. So yeah. Paul, I don't know anything about the glove that the police have taken for evidence this week. I'm in the dark about that, but I'll have a look about it. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. I'm sorry about losing the stream right at the beginning. I hope you found it interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers obviously covering the Nicola, and it's good because you know what, they're all do it in their different ways. And you know, like all of them, there's things I like about their channels, there's things I don't like about their channels, but they're all but what I do like is getting all those different perspectives, and then, you know, making my mind up what I think. That's, to me, that is what YouTube is all about. And I think YouTube is going to get more and more important as time goes on, and people turn, because this morning, I think it's finished. They need to change it completely, change the format, stop taking people for idiots and talking to them like they're fools and they're not interested in anything serious. They just, you know, they need to stop this dumbing down of the British public and thinking they're all idiots. And because people are turning off. That's why people are turning off, because it's not interesting. It's not interesting enough. You know, people like things that are interesting. You know, they don't just want to see about women marrying ghosts or whatever that was. I think there was somebody on there, wasn't there, that wanted to marry their dog or whatever. One day. So I mean, you know, it's just like that would be better on YouTube, really, you know, because the YouTube's a bit random, isn't it? And that, but I don't know. But anyway, so this is the connection to Madeleine McCann, according to Sonia Poulsen, and also Sean Atwood. That's a good YouTube channel. Interesting to hear those perspectives. That the narrative of Madeleine Monroe, I was going to say, Madeleine McCann being kidnapped rather than the parents doing anything, this narrative has been created by the mainstream media. So it was interesting. Okay. I will, I've got to go now because I've got to have some lunch and then I've got classes. I've got some Spanish classes in my other life. But, you know, I do enjoy doing these videos and I enjoy doing the research and stuff. But, you know, you probably know yourself if you're a person who likes to look into things. Goodness me, you know, it just never stops, does it? Every time you find one thing out, every time you think, find one thing out, something else comes up. So I suppose that's why the live streams are useful, really, because it's just quicker. If you know, making a video takes at least 4 or 5 hours. So that's just for me anyway. So I'm sure maybe more technical people, it doesn't take so long. But I do think it does. I think it does take quite a while if you want to do it properly. Hi, Mia. Okay, so I'm good, but I'll see you again soon. There'll be another video out about 2 of Emma's interviews later today. Gosh, the more I watch those interviews, the more I just think, what the hell is going on here? You know, it seems even, I think at the time it didn't even seem as ludicrous as it does now, because it was just like, it was mad, wasn't it? It was all happening. Well, when you look back now, it looks even more crazy. there's two scenarios with Emma. The best case scenario is just that she just loved all the attention and that's it. So she didn't actually do anything to Nicola, but she just enjoyed all the attention, or that she actually did do something. Thank you, Jackie. Someone there talking about Kate. Sonia Poulton used to work with Sean Atwood. Oh, Sean Atwood. What, this guy? I'll have to go into that another time. I hope this chat ends up saving. But thank you all for being here with me. I've got to go. But I'll see you very soon. And until then, remember to live and love very carefully. And may your God always go with you. Thank you. Thank you.